And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the PiGosaur Monday number 3. We've made it to the quarterfinals. We have our TvT, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkiona, we have one of the big favorites to win the entire tournament, the highest-rated Terran player in the bracket for Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran player, the red Terran representing the Cranky Ducklings. He just took down Pig. Now he's up against the ByuN. Can he bring it back? Can he cause an upset? It is Dolan. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold. Dolan does have some killer TvT, that is true. Dolan has some amazing TvT that he has been able to flex before in EPT, the ESL Pro Tour. But ByuN is still going to be the heavy favorites here. We'll see if Dolan can cause that upset. We'll see if he can bring down the ByuN. Oh boy. Best of luck, Pappy. Best of luck. Here we go. Again, as I mentioned before, the quarterfinals are all currently underway, so the entirety of the round 16 has concluded, and we're going to be following this quarterfinals match into the lower semis. That is the current plan, at least for the channel, is to follow the lower half of the bracket into eventually the grand finals. That is the plan. But now, though, we're settling in. It's going to be double gas opener out of Dolan, likewise double gas out of ByuN as well. We're going into faster factories, into delayed CCs. Here we go. Here we go. So from here we can, head into additional Reaper Hellion, production, into Cyclones, into Widow Mines. There's a lot of potential where double gas openers can kind of lead us in TvT. We'll see what direction our players do take us in. ByuN, he's scouting, looking for a proxy, looking for any stray Raxes. Likewise, Dolan doing something similar, also checking the triangular third base, but not moving out with the first Reaper. Again, you don't know if your opponent is going into reacted Reaper production or will catch you off guard. So both players playing it safe. And so far, both players mirroring each other. Cyclones are in production, Reapers as well. We do see ByuN, he delays his add-on going for a faster starport. Meanwhile, Dolan delays his starport going for the faster add-on. So now our players are deviating in some way. Slight deviation so far. Reapers hit the natural. They do delay the CC. Not bad. Dolan not quite in position. Was ready in the main. So nice pick off here by ByuN. We'll get a slight lead when it comes to the natural base timing. And the Reapers, they get the hell out of here. You can see Dolan trying to hunt them down. He is looking for the Reapers, but doesn't quite find them. ByuN gets away. Does get away. Following this up, ByuN getting ready for that Cyclone drop. Remember, it was a faster starport into a faster medevac into a Cyclone drop. ByuN looking to flex his speed, as he often does. Again, ByuN a very fast player. Looking to move out, looking to try to out-multitask his opponents. Here comes that medevac. ByuN also has control of the Zelnaga, so he makes sure that Dolan does not see this coming. And Dolan instead is set up in between the bases. So he does have an army to defend. He can, of course, react and respond to the main or the natural. We'll see if he can in time. As he's a tank for the natural base, and Marine Cyclone into the main. So a nice split here for Dolan. Splits up his army, is in position. ByuN does boost in. Boost into the main base, but again, Dolan is ready for this. Oh, I say that. ByuN does unload, gets a Marine. Gets one, gets two, the juggling. Oh! Saves one of the Cyclones. Saves both. Both Cyclones are saved just barely, both deep in the red, but very efficient trade here out of ByuN. He does kill 4 Marines. 4 Marines, 1 SCV, and doesn't lose a single unit. That's what matters. ByuN gets away, we'll be able to repair. We'll be able to race back and repair. Meanwhile, ByuN going for his 3rd CC in his main. Likewise, so is Dolan. We're calming things down. What's important here, even though ByuN has gotten some more value and gotten more damage, that is true. That is all true. Of course, Dolan hasn't taken any economic losses. Just Marines. Just Marines and 1 SCV, so some acceptable damage here for Dolan. As scan gets placed, gets eyes on the 3rd CC timing. Ooh, meanwhile, Dolan going for Concussive Shell. Interesting. I'm curious if Dolan is going to be canceling that upgrade and going for... Yep, he does cancel his playing mech. Okay, it's going to be mech out of Dolan. Does feign bio. Tries to fake it out. Meanwhile, of course, ByuN going bio tank. Dolan bleeding out his Reapers. Cyclone job into the main. And this Cyclone job isn't just designed to get damage, but also to scout. Does confirm the ranks, but it was repositioned. Medevac goes down. Nice cleanup here out of Dolan. But ByuN may have seen enough to tip him off. As there's that 2nd factory. Now, the way this dynamic works, of course, is that ByuN will have the more mobile army, can potentially counterattack and try to pull Dolan apart. Likewise, it's going to be on ByuN to gain map control and take faster expansions and get a greater economy. We'll see if he can. Dolan fanning out his Marines. Getting in position for his 3rd. Likewise, so is ByuN. His 3rd base is now done. Yet to land on location. Dolan going to be the first to expand by a couple of seconds. By too much. Mech versus ByuN will not go well. We have seen Ryung defeat ByuN with mech, but Ryung, he has a much more kind of late game oriented style. The way that Ryung approaches it, because ByuN is so active and hyper aggressive in TvT, the downside is that if ByuN doesn't get damage done with his drop play, then he can fall behind. And then the defending player can snowball out of control. That's kind of what Ryung is best at, but we'll see if Dolan can do the same, right? We'll see if Dolan can, imitate Ryung here in that defense and, maintain himself, minimize losses. As ByuN is moving out. Also, arguably, Ryung has the best TvT in the world, so what's that? It's also quite a standard to set. As ByuN is being active, rotating around. Dolan does have some spotted Marines, that is true, but he won't have much time to react. Scans across the map, ByuN looking for a way in. Doesn't quite commit. Kyoromaru has the best TvT. Maybe right now. Maybe. I know that Maru would have agreed that Ryung had better TvT if you were watching WTL. But that was earlier in the year. Of course, the meta changes, the meta shifts. Currently, I don't think I would say Maru or Kyor has the best TvT with as much confidence. Don't think I would say that. Flip it out. ByuN just gaining map control, knocking down those rocks. So far, ByuN hasn't found a way in yet. Oh my god. Dolan breaking out. Sieging up his tanks, trying to lure the army in. ByuN doesn't take the bait. And ByuN does take a much faster 4th. The 4th base is getting saturated. Both armies maxing out. But breaking through this center location is not going to be easy. Tank flow is going off. Dolan gets a tank. Oh, doesn't finish it off. Yeah, a little bit early to unsiege. We'll get the one tank. Oof, Raven goes down. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there from Dolan, and he is a little bit trigger happy. threw down a massive amount of disables. Wasn't quite worth it. ByuN rotating towards the left. Dolan has no vision on this. ByuN stepping in. He wants the tanks. No! Yeah, Dolan caught on siege. 3 tanks going down. Mass disable as well. And Dolan caught with his pants down. GG gets called and ByuN takes game 1. Whew. GG. A very tense moment there in the center of the map. Again, Dolan did not see where ByuN's army was. He did have a spotted marine, but spotted it a little bit too late. That is why Dolan was late to siege. And with that, GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he went for the dive. Dolan was not ready. And ByuN takes the lead. Takes the lead in the series. Now we're jumping into game number 2. I'm going to be loading into Site Delta. I would say that Site Delta is a worse map for mech. It is a lot more wide open. It is a lot larger. Less choke points as well. So I expect Dolan to go for a different approach. Whether it's bio, whether it's even proxy racks, even ByuN, not afraid to proxy as well. So I imagine we're going to be shifting gears here in game 2. We'll see though. We shall see. When it comes to TvT, actually, the player that impressed me the most at EWC was Oliveira. Oliveira's TvTs were actually really fun to watch. Oliveira's TvT against ByuN, if you remember, he had a rematch against ByuN as well, and he also had a TvT against Maru. Oliveira looks so good. He looks so good at EWC. If you didn't watch the matches, I do recommend them. At the time, we were co-streaming here. But here we go, we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the top left hand corner of Site Delta. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran player, the Red Terran representing the Cranky Ducklings. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Dolan. We go. Again, ByuN is the heavy favorite to make a deep run in this tournament. Dolan is going to be the underdog here. So far, I mean, he was able to have a comparable army size last game, but it did come down to the positioning in the end. Did try to move out, ByuN taking full advantage of the slower composition of Dolan, catching him off guard. And we'll see how Dolan changes his approach. This time, double gas once again from Dolan, 2 games in a row. ByuN going for something more economic. Single gas opener into a faster CC on the low ground. So a faster economy here for the for the blue Terran. We'll see how aggressive Dolan plans on being. Does move out. Let's move out across the map. SCV Scouts does get eyes on the faster expansion. Dolan now aware of the more economic start with ByuN. He knows. How will Dolan approach this? As Dolan opening up Reactored Reaper, okay. Looks like Dolan's going Reaper Hellion. Much more aggressive start. And Dolan will have potential for damage here. With Reaper Hellion, of course, he can try to bust into the natural, bust into a mineral line and get some economic damage. Get some SCV kills. We'll see how many he makes and where he stops. Does he go up to 3, up to 5 Reapers, 3 Hellions? How hard does Dolan commit? Making an extra wave. Extra Reapers on the way. Meanwhile, it's going to be on ByuN to defend. The goal for the eventual move up for Dolan should be to focus on the Cyclone. If he can catch the Cyclone, he can break through. Well, that's easier said than done. As Dolan is getting into 4 Reapers and 2 Hellions so far. Oh my god. Getting up to 6. 6 Reapers and 3 Hellions, okay. Again, very committed here by Dolan. By the time he moves out, there's going to be 2 Cyclones there, potentially a Medevac for some micro potential as well. Now, there is a chance where when Dolan pulls the trigger, when he pushes up the ramp, that these Cyclones, they're going to be in the Medevac halfway across the map. There is a chance that that does occur. And that would be maybe the best case scenario for Dolan, because then he can actually get into the mineral line and just, I mean, roast up every single SCV. Dolan does move out, likewise, so will the drop. They might actually pass by each other, which will be a little bit awkward. Medevac loads up. Dolan pushing into the natural, but the Medevac actually stays back at home. Uh-oh. ByuN doesn't move out. As a result, he will be able to defend. Plenty of Marines here on the low ground. Heli volley is going up, but here come the Cyclones. Yeah, and Dolan, he was hoping the Cyclones would be across the map instead, or on the map anywhere else. Not at home. ByuN defends. ByuN holds, does cost him 4 SCVs. True. But ByuN had the economic advantage anyway. And Dolan is deflected. Yeah, Dolan, he gambled a little bit here, and I mean, I don't blame him. ByuN having the foresight to defend, despite the fact that ByuN hasn't actually scattered anything. Like, 0 scatting information, just really safe play out of ByuN. It pays off. Does pay off in the end. Dolan racing back, and do you see what I see? That is a second starport. Second starport's all the way. This is actually a little bit old school. I mean, I say that, I mean, it's a quote-unquote newer build when it comes to, like, I guess, the overall arcing history of StarCraft, but it's going to be a 2-base all-in. 2-base, 2-port all-in here from Dolan. Popularized by Special a couple of years ago. The Special build, let's go. This is a different variation. This is going to be incorporating some Ravens, then into Vikings. Cyclones dive in. They scout the second starport. Ay. And ByuN sees everything he needs to. Now, typically with a second starport, you go into Mass Viking. And the goal here is to get air control and then go into a Liberator behind it to take advantage of that air control as well. Now, because ByuN scouted, yeah, Viking production. He's stopping Medevacs getting into Viking production instead. He could even respond with his own second starport to keep up. So ByuN is all over this. Like, seeing the second starport is a massive tell. And it's going to be all or nothing for Dolan. ByuN building up. Third CC is already done. Dolan has to move out. As he moves out, Medevacs, they move in. Double Cyclone into the natural. SCVs are going down. 5 SCV kills. Ay. And ByuN just buying so much time. Gets into the middle line once again, getting more SCVs. Not like this. 9 SCV kills and a big delay here on the all-in. Scan confirms the move out as well. And back at home, what does ByuN have? He's got a tank line. He did not go for the second starport of his own, so he's going to be behind when it comes to the Vikings, but not by too much. He's down 1 Viking. ByuN even looking to engage a little bit further out. Dolan hoping to try to catch ByuN off guard. ByuN is so quick to siege. Dolan has yet to find an opening. Now, Dolan is making 3 Vikings at a time, and I believe now has a Viking lead. So we can try to make use of that. There we go. Goes for the mass disable. Gets a tank. So does ByuN. The tanks are disabled. Vikings do land. ByuN, he wins out in the Marine fights. Getting on top of the Vikings. It's close with the disables. They run out. And ByuN, he cleans up the Vikings. Gets on top of the tanks. And he shuts down the all-in. As a reminder, ByuN has a 3rd CC. Dolan does not. There is no 3rd base. Dolan is all-in. Barely does not have enough. Boys are being pulled. Just to be sure. ByuN just amassing more tanks, more Marines. Oof. And the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Dolan now. As the economy is kicking in. And again, it was just really unfortunate that Dolan got scouted. Remember, the second starport was seen by ByuN. On top of that, the move out was delayed by the cyclone drop. Dolan. Having fun with his Vikings. But ByuN collapses in, comes in for a flank. GG gets called, and ByuN will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. ByuN will take it. Shout out to Dolan for having two different strategies, of course. Game 1, Dolan did embrace mech, and was able to have a comparable army size to that of ByuN. Here in Game 2, Dolan went for a 2-base all-in instead, but he did get scouted. ByuN, he responded beautifully to it, was able to punish it, delay it, and then shut it down out in the center of the map as well. So really good scouting and just positional play out of ByuN. GG. GG, well played. ByuN advances on to the semifinals, and the question becomes, does he have an opponent ready for him? Does he have an opponent? Does he have another match here? Looks like he does. Here we go. So exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves.